What's up everybody, I'm Dan, and today I'm going to be showing you how to overclock your graphics card using Asus GPU Tweak 2. It's a pretty simple program, and it's also a pretty similar program to MSI Afterburner. This is just the one I'm more familiar with, so this is what I'm using. On the left hand side here, you'll show the historical numbers, so GPU clock, memory clock, and temperature, and then on the right hand side here, it'll just show current values. This menu over here is what's known as simple mode. We're going to go over to advanced mode here. First thing, there's 3 different profiles. So silent mode, if you really care about fan noise, you would click that. Let's say we want to make our own. Let's say, for example, we're trying to come up with our best 3D Mark numbers. We're going to go in and put bench. So then anytime we're running 3D Mark, we would go into this profile and it'd give us our best 3D Mark numbers. So GPU clock and GPU voltage are linked. That's what this little button is. So I can put, and I'm clicking, but you can also just go in here and enter a value. So let's say I want the clock to be 1450, but for whatever reason, I think that's too much voltage, right? So you can unclick or unlink by clicking that, and then you can just downgrade it to whatever you want. And then if you try it and it crashes, put the link back up and you don't have to worry about it. The link's generally pretty good though, from what I've seen. Memory clock, it's the same, it works the same way. You can just enter it, or you can press either arrow. To get an idea of what you should get out of your graphics cards, and they're all different, including like my RX 570 is, one of my RX 570s is different than the other RX 570, for example. You're just not gonna get the same speeds or the same like memory clocks. So for example, this memory clock, the graphics card that you're seeing me change right now, I can get a higher memory clock on this one than the other one. They're the exact same card. So you never really know exactly what you can get out of your card, but to get a good idea, if you just put in a simple Google search, so for example, RX 570 overclock, you can probably be more specific and still get good results, but I would just put in RX 570 overclock into Google, see what it comes up with, and I just go to some of those forums, see what people get, and then back those numbers down a little bit and start from there, and then start working your way up, making sure those numbers still work for you and see what you can get yours up to. But I'd start them set back a little rather than shooting for the moon and then just crashing off the bat. It's just a little easier. So memory clock, when you do your Google search, you're not going to see anything like 8,000 generally speaking. Generally speaking, people are going to say like memory clock 2,000 or 2,100. This number, I think this is one of few programs that uses this number instead. It's basically just 4 times the more commonly used number. So if people are saying 2,000, just enter 8,000. If they're saying 2,100, just enter 8,100. Well, no, that would be 2025. Well, you get my point. It's times 4. So memory voltage, I never change that. It generally doesn't seem to be an issue. As far as, and actually, let me click back. As far as fan speed, if you're benchmarking, you probably just want to go manual and just leave the fans at 100% while you're running the benchmark. Gives you the best shot. But if you're not doing doing that, you can go to user define here. When you go to user define, it lets you make your own fan curve. I make pretty aggressive fan curves because I like to keep my stuff cool. So let's say my fan curve is something like this. It's actually probably somewhat similar to an aggressive fan curve that I would normally make because I like to try to keep my graphics cards cool. And then I would save that back. Another 2 things that are actually linked are going to be power target percentage and GPU temp target. I don't like to link these two, So let's say, and actually while I'm thinking of it, power target percentage, you can actually keep your numbers all at stock, and then you can power target down if you wanted to, and see if it'll still run the same way, and maybe you can save some efficiency that way, or get some efficiency out of your equipment that way by getting the same stock performance using less power. That's something you could definitely try to do, but you won't get increased performance, of course. If you want increased performance and you're trying to overclock a decent chunk, so for 1450, I would probably just do plus 25 just to be safe. It just makes it so it can go up to more power if needed. It doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna stay at a constant 125% of the regular power usage. GPU temp target, I like to keep my stuff cold, so I would probably do something like 68. We'll apply that. Now you can always hit default here, and that will go back to your default settings. Another cool thing, GPU Z, it's actually incorporated in the program, which is pretty cool. So I'll actually just show you everything about it, as far as like release date of your card, just anything useful. So it'll tell me, for example, that I have 4 GB of memory on these particular graphics cards, and then it'll tell you default clocks. So you can see my default clocks for this card are 1300 and 1750. GPU clock current is going to be 1450 and 2000. So if you get confused at any point, you can go in here and get some information. It's a kind of a nice touch. It's not really necessary, but it's a nice touch. That's pretty much about it as far as this program goes, but if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. I'd love to answer them. I hope you learned something. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe for my future videos, and have a great day.